Have you ever felt like your emotions are too much? Like you have moments where you have these outbursts of emotions and you don't feel in control of your emotion. Or maybe you are going through something and people are telling you just stay calm and be strong, but you're not really sure what that means and how to actually achieve that. So today we are talking about something very important, and that is emotional intelligence and resilience. Because emotional resilience and emotional intelligence, it isn't about being robotic and being calm all the time and never feeling emotions. It is about understanding your emotions, and it is about knowing how to handle and control your emotions. So, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing amazing. As I said, today we are talking about emotional intelligence and resilience because it is something that I myself have dealt with quite a lot. I can be very hot headed and I have a lot of temper naturally. So, dealing with emotions and staying calm in situations where I know I should stay calm hasn't always been the easiest for me. And one thing I know for sure that acting out of emotions is never good. It's either going to hurt you or your loved ones, or it's just going to cause unnecessary drama. So, firstly, I would like to talk about what actually is emotional intelligence and emotional resilience. So, emotional intelligence is your ability to recognize your own emotions and understand them. It is the ability to express your emotions in a healthy way. And it is the ability to respond, not react. It is how you stay grounded in chaos. It is how you communicate honestly from the heart without losing control. Now, on the other hand, resilience is how you bounce back. It is your capacity to adapt to change, and it is your ability to find center after life spins you off balance. Together, emotional intelligence and resilience build inner strength. And again, it is, for the majority of us, it is not something we are born with, but a muscle that you have to train. So, what are some of the benefits of emotional intelligence? Well, there are certain studies done that prove that people who have better emotional intelligence have overall better mental health, better relationship, better physical health, better decision making, as well as career success. So here is how to build these skills one step at a time. The first I like to call name it to regain it. And it is all about self-awareness. It's hard to be in control of your emotions if you are not sure what those emotions even are. And naming things and emotions and events often helps us and our brain to kind of take control over it. So for me, this often is with anxiety. I have days where I feel very anxious, where I have panic attacks, and where, that anxiety kind of creeps into my physical health, if I may say. And sometimes I feel anxious, like my body feels anxious, but I don't know in my head what's causing that anxiety. And just telling myself what is the cause of that anxiety helps me tremendously. So, for example, when it's the late afternoon and I'm feeling very anxious and I know that I haven't slept the best last night, then I tell myself, you're feeling anxious because you haven't slept well last night, because that for me is a very big factor of anxiety. Or, I tell myself I haven't eaten enough today. I haven't gone outside. And, sometimes it may not be true. Sometimes, the causes for anxiety might be different, but just naming it, whether it is true or not, always helps me. Naming the emotion or the feeling reduces activity in the amygdala, which is kind of like your fear center in your brain, and it activates the logical part of your brain. Whether you're feeling angry, you're feeling triggered, you're feeling sad, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling However, try asking yourself this: what am I feeling right now? Where in my body am I feeling it? Are you feeling it in your jaw, in your stomach, on your chest, in your back, in your head? Are you getting a headache? And try to ask yourself, what caused this? Did I have an argument with someone? Did I, exactly as I said, did I sleep enough? Did I eat enough? Did I go outside? Is there something stressful coming up in my life? Is it exams? Is it tough conversations that I am neglecting? And always find, your brain loves logic. So always try to find logic behind everything. So instead of telling yourself, oh, I'm stressed right now, perhaps say, I am feeling worried because I'm scared of an exam I have tomorrow. I am feeling worried because, again, there are some tough conversations that I'm going to have in the next few days. I am worried because, my finances aren't, the best. Whatever it is, however small, however big, always try to find logic and reason behind your emotions. Clarity is calming, so name it to regain power and control over it. Number 2, self-regulation, or the art of responding and not reacting. Self-regulation is what keeps you from spiraling. It's that deep breath in before you snap, that little pause before you decide to people please, that boundary you chose to set before resentment. And for many of us, especially women, we weren't really taught this because there was always this expectation of us that, we should always be calm and nice and never say what's on our mind. And I feel like all of this kind of builds up over time. And as I said, we're always taught to be nice and, keep our thoughts to ourselves and not really show our emotions, because the minute we would show emotions, we would be called emotional and hormonal and whatever. But there's nothing wrong about showing your emotions, but keeping them inside and stacking them and not learning about them and not learning about your brain and how to handle it. And it often ends up with you just going off and exploding and having even a mental breakdown because, as I said, we were not taught how to handle our emotions a lot of the times. So there are 3 parts to self-regulation. First one starts with regulate the body first. Your body often starts reacting before your brain does. So what that means is, first is take control of your body. If your body is in flight or fight, your brain cannot think clearly. And this could be something really small, as focusing on your breath. There are certain methods. It's called the 4-7-8, where you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 7, and then breathe out slowly for 8 seconds. This, I think, is amazing even for anxiety. It often really helps me for anxiety, or when I'm trying to kind of bring back my focus from distractions. The next could be just splashing some cold water on your face or on your wrists, or doing some grounding activities like placing one hand on your stomach and one hand on your chest. Again, I feel like this always helps me when I'm feeling, for example, when I'm feeling very anxious when I go to bed. This often helps me a lot. Or just, taking some fresh air outside, just stepping outside of the room or opening a window and just breathing in and focusing on something, just like a little point somewhere in the back, like a little cloud, and just focusing on that for 10 seconds. The second part is cognitive self-regulation, or how I like to call mental reframing. Here's where you practice rewriting your internal script, so your thoughts. And this isn't about toxic positivity, but sometimes we tend to think the worst possible scenario without actually thinking about the scenario and if that scenario is even possible. So ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Not what's the truth or how you feel, but what you believe. Is that belief true or is it just familiar? And would the type of person I want to be believe in it? This is how you make the space between the stimuli and the response. And lastly is relational self-regulation. And that is all about how you show up in conversations. Do I lash out when I'm feeling ignored or neglected? Do I tend to avoid conflict and avoid hard conversations? Do I shut down to avoid conflict? And do I speak my needs, or do I just hope to be understood? Am I being clear about my emotions? Am I being clear about my boundaries? And am I being clear about my standards? Often when we are kind of in a heated conversation, we forget to take a minute to think about the conversation. So don't be scared to step out. Tell that person, look, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I need to ground myself and think about it and think about what I want to tell you. Think about it and then continue with the conversation. Because as I said at the beginning, as I've especially had this problem where I was saying a lot of things out of emotion, with the heat and kind of the, rush in my head. And often I would really regret saying those things. So don't rush to resolve things. Don't rush to tell how you feel. Instead, just take a minute for yourself, collect your thoughts, collect how you feel, and then move forward. This way, you show respect not only to the person that you're talking with, but also respect to yourself. Now, there are many daily rituals that you can do. It can be, as I said, breathing techniques or meditation that is absolutely amazing for self-regulation and emotional intelligence. Again, ask yourself, what are you feeling on the daily? Ask yourself, what do I need emotionally right now? Whether from yourself, from your close ones, from your partner, from your friends. Ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? And then write it down on a paper, perhaps in a journal. Journaling, again, is an amazing practice for kind of observing your emotions and understanding them. So perhaps write it down in your journal and then shake it off, walk away from it, and kind of signal to your body that you're not stuck in these emotions. Observe, analyze, and walk it off. Now, in this next part, I want to talk about our nervous system. Now, of course, it depends on the intensity of your emotions, but as a person who has been struggling with anxiety and panic attacks for a very, very long time, it often hits my nervous system first before it hits me. If you have been going through long-term stress, long-term intense emotions, and long-term anxiety and panic attacks, the chances that you have a dysregulated nervous system are pretty high. And now I really don't like this term, dysregulated nervous system, just because it has been thrown around on social media for so long and so much. The truth is, you can't journal yourself out from a panic attack, and you can't mindset your way out of a survival mode. So you have to work with the body. There is a theory called polyvagal theory, which explains how the mechanism kind of works. So your nervous system is connected to your brain, of course, your lungs, your heart, and your gut. It's like your internal security system. I don't want to get too deep into the biology of the nervous system, of course. There is a reason why when you're feeling nervous, your heart races. There is a reason why when you are feeling panicky, your breathing starts to increase. There's a reason why you might get a stomach ache when you're nervous again. So your body, your organs are very connected to your nervous system. And it often asks your nervous system, am I safe or not? So this is where these terms fight or flight mode come in. If you don't feel safe, if your body doesn't feel safe, it shifts into these survival modes. So we have flight, which is irritability and anger. Then we have fight, which is anxiety and perfectionism. Then, of course, we have freeze, which is numbness and exhaustion. And lastly, we have fawn, which is all about people pleasing and self abandonment. These are not flaws, these are not personalities, these are not characteristics. They are states. They are states that signal to your body you are not okay. But that can be, of course, changed. All of this, once it kind of hits your body this much, and you've been undergoing all of this for so long, it can take very long to heal this dysregulated nervous system. Because, and you might have seen it online in some TikToks where people are saying, my body cannot, tell the difference between going to the, shopping mall alone and going into a war zone. It sounds funny, but it kind of isn't. So here are some exercises that might help you, but again, this takes time and you have to be doing it very consistently and very intentionally. So the first one, as I already mentioned, it's all about breathing, and it's called the vagal reset breathing. And it is backed by the polyvagal theory. So you inhale through the nose for 4 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, then you exhale through your mouth for 6 seconds. And you repeat this for 2 minutes. So this leads to your heart rate dropping down so you can think more clearly and calm yourself down. Second little daily practice is literally shaking it off. Might sound ridiculous, but again, this is backed by research. So you see it in animals in their environment, right? They shake things off whenever they fight with other animals and they, get out of the fight, they shake it off. For 60 seconds, shake your whole body, shake your arms, shake your legs, shake your head, shake your hips, and literally just shake it off. Now with these last 3, I don't think I have to go that deep, but of course it's going to be movement. And you can choose different movements, but a movement like perhaps yoga and stretching and walking is going to be the best for calming your nervous system down. But when we're talking about our nervous system, of course, it's a part of our body. So anything you do for your health is going to be beneficial for your nervous system. Secondly, of course, it's going to be diet, drinking water, it's going to be sleep. And you might even want to consider meditation and journaling. With journaling, I would really recommend tracking your emotional wins. So every day you might want to track how you felt and what you are proud of. You can say, I was really proud of how I stood up for myself, but with calmness. You can say, I was very proud because there was something bothering me for a very long time and I didn't know how to speak up for myself, but I did. Track your emotional challenges and how you go through them and how you handle them. And over time, you're going to build this portfolio, kind of, and it's going to increase your self-trust. Now, I would like to finish this video off with something very important, and that is boundaries. Boundaries. We're going to talk about boundaries because boundaries are so important. We often forget it. You can be very deeply empathetic. You can be the nicest person on earth, but you're still going to want to have boundaries because having boundaries is not about being nice. It is about preserving your actual mental health. You can care for other people without collapsing, without making it your own problem and making it your worry. Ask yourself, is this mine to carry? Is this emotion that certain person has about me or about an argument my business? Is it something I can control? Because here's the thing, you can control your responses and your reactions, but you cannot control other people. You cannot control how they're going to feel about you. You cannot control how they will react to you. And this kind of baggage, if I may say, emotional baggage of caring and of not having the boundary, the emotional boundary, is very draining. So ask yourself, is that mine to carry? Does it matter? And I'm not telling you, of course, if you hurt somebody, yes, that is yours to carry. But if you are a good person and you're doing good things and somebody still has bad opinions about you and has issues with you, that is not your thing to carry. And it is not your duty to make that person happy. It is not. It is not. So be very mindful of having boundaries. And as much as being an empathetic person, it's beautiful, but it can often lead to people pleasing. Don't silence your needs just for somebody else's approval. Empathy without boundaries is just self-abandonment. So guys, I really hope you liked this video. If it resonated with you, then don't forget to start practicing and comment down below which ritual are you going to start today. And don't forget, it is not a bad thing to show emotions. It's just about how you show them and how you feel about your own emotions. And yeah, just having control over your emotions, over your body, because it is your life and you cannot let others people's emotions and reactions rule your own. Don't forget to check out my social media links and the Discord group. It will be all linked down below. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!